let's get into the first topic of the day. I know everybody's so excited about more Trisha Paytas. I couldn't watch the video. I should probably watch it this
It's
week.
literally the second video over again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point, because she had the video removed, presumably by Trisha, which is probably true. And she wanted to re-upload it, but it's like such a burnout. I'm so burnt out on it. I watched half an hour of it. I watched a half hour of it, and I was just like, I was done. I couldn't watch any more of it. It's the same video over and over again. And here's my thing. Like, I understand why she re-uploaded it. I just don't understand why she didn't just edit the few little issues and then just pop it right back up instantly. Because it's been like a month or two now, right?
I honestly don't remember. Well, we said like 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could just pop onto YouTube. Oh my goodness. Or I could just like misspell the word YouTube.
Because it was when we started this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. It was when we started up this podcast.
A month ago. Shit.
That's when we talked about it. Yeah, so I watched the part 2. I uploaded this on September 9th. So, like, 5 weeks ago. It's been 5. I played balloons, apparently, while I did it. So, it seems like, man... Maybe I think that's the biggest issue, is that it just feels like the timing is off. It's just
over it, and like she re-uploaded it.
Which again, I understand why. I mean, she had the first one taken down. I know that there's new stuff in it, but that new stuff.
But like, what new stuff?
Well, you watched it. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
You watched it. I didn't watch it. And so it's like, what
don't tell you the problems. Timestamps.
Well, so what was the new stuff that popped up? Yeah, I know there's new info, but what was
there was like the only thing that I noticed new was she like used one more video to support like something she already said and had other videos for.
Yeah, most of the new information was just a couple of new sources for old stuff, and then she added like the last half that talked about the allegation of that girl, right? The other person that came forward through Twitter.
Yeah, but she already went over that in the video. That wasn't new.
So, there wasn't really a whole lot of new stuff.
There was literally...
Really?
Nothing really new.
I want to comment on one thing that was said.
I didn't see. I didn't even like... I don't even know if I showed the... How long was the video?
2.5 hours.
No, it was definitely... She added a lot of stuff in it then.
Well, it didn't do anything to change...
I'm going to have to watch it. You're biased.
Yeah, I am.
Because it's an hour and a half, and her new video is 2.5 hours.
Well, I swear to God, she's talking in slow motion. I swear.
Stop.
I swear, baby.
Oh, my goodness. See, I have to make this bigger. I have to make this much bigger. Let me do that for right now.
But yeah, so it didn't change my mind about Trisha's stuff at all. Really, when I watched it, I just had more critiques of Mysterious T.
Mm-hmm. Again, I have to watch it for myself because I didn't realize there was an extra fucking hour worth of information.
I honestly don't know, because it just feels like it wasn't that different, and I feel like watching it this time, I was even more annoyed than I was previously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know really like how much you want me to say or not.
No, go ahead.
But
go give me
like I felt I honestly like I didn't like the video, and I feel like the way Trisha and all of her issues and everything that she says, I feel like is flat out wrong. So in my opinion, you don't have to I don't know if scandalize is a word, but like scandalize things to like point out that things are wrong, if that makes sense.
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
So these things are weird to me.
Well, what? Can you give me an example?
So, like one of the things Mysterious...
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, because these videos were what kind of drove the Trisha is a lying bitch narratives.
No, I understand that, and I feel like since I watched it beforehand and then watched it again, I noticed more things about Mysterious T than the Trisha stuff, especially because the Trisha stuff is so old.
Okay.
So like the first one that was uploaded left a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
And then now,
so specifically, I know that it bothered you, and it bothered me too, but it bothered you more, of course. that she mentioned like the when it came to Mr. Rimey. I know that
Mr.
Riley?
I was making fun of bleeping the name.
I don't know why she censored it. Whatever. I understand. Like it's like, oh, he gets to. Everybody knows his name at this point. I feel like at this point,
I'm just making fun of it because there were some points like where
Riney.
it wasn't bleeped out, and sometimes when she said it, and then there was other times she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I'm dragging the guy through the mud because I don't think that he did it based on all the lying. But anyway, Mr. Rimey, I believe it is. Where originally she had made this point where he was like a decorated Vietnam veteran, and he was like really he was like a big deal in the community, and he was a good teacher and this that, and so like how could he have done it because he was such a nice guy. And that is when you subtract Trisha from that, all of a sudden that's just like essay apologist rhetoric, right? Saying that like, oh well, you couldn't have been assaulted because this guy was a good guy. That's just wrong. Right, and I don't think that she meant it like that in a negative way.
Well,
didn't understand.
I'll follow up with what she said about it in this new upload. Yeah. But like the other thing that I didn't like in the video is in the first upload is when she talked about Trisha talking about her experience with SA in videos and that she didn't tell her family. And Mysterious says, that's weird to me. And I was kind of. I feel like the way she phrases things, I was telling him, is like a popular girl in school trying to convince her friend something.
Okay.
Like how I was saying, like the popular girl, like will not like a girl and be like, oh, like that girl's weird because she's wearing like a blue shirt, and then her friends will be like, yeah, that's so weird.
Well, you're talking about the way that she presents information.
Yeah, where like if not telling your mother about being assaulted or doing drugs, I would say is a very regular occurrence.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like if you had an experience where you were assaulted, I don't think the first person you go to is your mom usually.
No, and like if you have that relationship with your mom, like that's fine. But to say like, oh, this is weird, to convince us that Trisha is a bad person and a liar, I feel like it's like not necessary. And again, that's something that could be generalized to other people.
Yeah, I get what
and no
saying,
matter what you say, if you're saying I'm only talking about Trisha during this moment, it doesn't matter.
Well, that seems like one of those things because Trisha really has done like terrible things, and so a lot of times I think in some instances we forgot that that the general rhetoric can be applied to everybody, and it can be invalidating to everybody, and we can't just invalidate Trisha on that kind of a point. Like you can't just be like, well, the guy was really nice, he couldn't have done it. It's not a good point. The fact that she proposed misinformation, that's the specific aspect that you would focus on. So I understand what you're saying there.
So those are the things from the first upload that I didn't like.
Yeah, and really quick, I just wanted to bring up, like, for Trisha, like social media to her and YouTube, she has like a really weird, probably a parasocial-esque relationship with it, where she finds like that to be her comforting platform to say things to people. So I can understand why she would tell all the world first. And also back when she was younger, YouTube isn't exactly a platform that everybody would look at. Nowadays, I post stuff and my fucking family finds out about it. It's more popularized. YouTube is an app on your phone that comes pre-downloaded. Back in the day, it was just some like bullshit, like shit posting platform.
Not even that. Like I would imagine. Like, I talk about some of my experiences on here. I haven't really gone into detail. And my mom doesn't watch his videos or anything. But, if I talked about things in detail and she actually watched them, I would tell my mom, like, hey, don't watch this video that he posted. You
say that?
I would, if I talked in detail about my experiences.
Oh, yeah, I get that. But then your mom would look at it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't. But, like, that's the type of relationship we have where, like, that's what I would do. But anyways, those are the things I didn't like about the first video.
Well, there was something specific that you had said. Oh, so what did she say about the whole, like, Mr. Rimey was a really good guy narrative?
So that's what I'm going to get into now. So now with the re-upload, Mysterious did address why she said the things, basically saying, like, oh, he couldn't have done this. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So she said that the reason why she talked about him being a veteran and all of the honors that he has as a veteran is because if he did these things, he would have been stripped of those honors.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like...
It's just the same thing again.
I heard that and I was like, okay, whatever. Then the second thing she said is she talked about like him as a teacher and how appreciated he was by the community as a teacher because he was in that position for such a long time, like he would have gotten caught if he was really doing it.
Right, which again,
and I was just like, please. Like, we know that people do bad things and like it's never discovered.
Yeah.
And you know, like, I don't care if you're just saying
like there's like 40 children in my basement. You guys don't know that because you're like, oh, Papa got such a good guy.
But it's just like I just feel like that, like, you need to just be like, yeah, I fucked up and move on. Where with this, to myself, I feel like she's digging the hole deeper. Yeah, and now, like, I literally don't care what she has to say about it.
I get that. I think I understand what you're saying. Like that, it's one of those things where, like, you know, you've hit the point. You've effectively been so insensitive about this particular topic that it forces you to tune out. And there are people in the chat that are talking about how the energy feels almost personal from Mysterious T to Trisha. And I'm not trying to drag Mysterious. I don't think she's a bad person. But like I have picked up on that energy a bit too.
She has, like, she thinks Trisha has a vendetta against her. Is that the right word?
Well, I'd say that if any. Well, yeah, I think that's probably what she expressed. Yeah, I think that's I understand it, to be honest with you. I understand that because Trisha probably did have like a part to play in it. You know, because they've come after my videos too, and then I just pull the fuck out of YouTube, and then they turn it around. Because I'll send them like long, detailed paragraphs, and I'll be professionally rude, and then they'll like let all my stuff go, and they'll leave it alone. But I understand because, you know, for Mysterious, she pours a lot of time, effort, and energy into these. Like, she puts a lot. Like, what do I really do? I mean, I fucking watch other people's videos.
No, like, you get your stuff together, and I'm like, you're doing too much.
Yeah, and I'm already not doing a lot. But
like, I look at her sources and I'm like, girl, like, that is like committed.
She's very committed. So she puts a ton of time and energy and effort into it, and then for it to get taken down by Trisha, I understand completely. I mean, I personally think it would have been better to just get part 2 up as soon as possible, and then make a part 3 with apparently like an hour's worth of information. Even if it was only like a half hour, just like a part 3, the like I'm done with Trisha kind of a thing, where she, you know what I'm saying, like where she just finishes the rest out. But the energy, you get a little lost in the energy, unfortunately, and that's because I mean, it takes a little bit of thick skin to do this terrible job. It's fucking a lucky job for me, bro. Woo!
I think
really and there's no energy in that, but okay.
I honestly, like, I was reading a comment that annoyed me, so I tuned out a little.
What did the comments say?
But because they said that you mooshed off her videos, but now it's not good enough. And like, yeah, no, her video wasn't good enough in my personal opinion. I think that Trisha is very and that's my personal opinion, and I'll own that. I think that Trisha's issues are very black and white. I understand the channel or whatever her name is, at least on Twitter's literally Mysterious T, which is gossip.
Sure.
But I think that the tone, the personalization, and like the biased opinion put on different actions, even by saying like things are weird. I know it's something very little, but for me it really takes away from just the blatant like wrongdoings of Trisha. And I personally became distracted by that.
I get what you're saying.
So that's my thoughts on it.
No, I understand. That's totally fair. You know, for me, I like Mysterious videos. I think that she should move on from Trisha because I think that it's like I don't know. I think it's an unhealthy topic to obsess over at this point. To be honest with you, as far as me mooching off videos, bro, listen, I do reaction commentary on videos, and people like it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I appreciated those videos. They were eye opening and they were mind blowing. And I support Mysterious T.
You know, the video was like very informative, and I think overall, like, it was like very revealing and like a fantastic organization to show all of the things wrong with Trisha in this I guess storyline is what we could call it. But yeah, those were my critiques.
Just for idea, but it just upset. It pissed you off a little bit about the way that, like, I understand completely. Okay, you know what I mean. Everybody's different. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to watch the video. I didn't realize that there was a literal hour more.
Yeah, no, you should, and like tell me what
you think
missed.
I should have. You know what it was? I should have watched it. And then, but I started watching it. And I'm so burnt. You know what it is? It's not even that I'm burnt out on Trisha exclusively. I'm a little burnt out on commentary. Like, I like doing commentary, but I've been like, I've been just forcing myself through videos, and it's been like fucking me up. And I even tell her, I'm like, I just need a break. And I've been not really uploading a lot. And then she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, we did well last month. And like this month we may not do as well. Because I'm just like not into it. And then when I'm not into it energy-wise, my content sucks. So, you know, but I should watch it so I can give myself a fair critique. And this way we could actually, well, I should have done it because then we could have debated it. But I'll just drag you in my video on the Series 2. You know what? I did watch a half hour of it though, and there's one thing I wanted to end like this segment off with, and it was Trisha talked about that she was bullied because she was overweight, but she wasn't even like overweight or smelly, because you know there's overweight people in school who are smelly. I wasn't a smelly overweight guy. This was a horrible compliment to give somebody, but I remember one of my classmates when I was like in 8th grade or 9th grade, they were like, "Oh, you know, you don't smell as a fat guy," and that was like a
what?
Yeah, because there's some smelly fat people in school.
Oh, see, I was always you have such a pretty face,
bro.
Girl,
I've told this story like 100 times. When I first met my half sister, her mom, I was like 14, was like, "You have such a handsome face. You look better if you weren't so fat." What a bitch.
You know, it was a social worker. It wasn't my social worker in school.
How old were you?
In high school.
It's ridiculous.
It wasn't. I hated this woman.
Yeah.
I wish I could say her name. Fuck you. I hate you. But like all the time, and like she was like all the girls I didn't like also talked to her.
Oh, okay. She was the cool teacher, cool social worker.
But like she like came up to me, and I remember she literally like look at me. She like touched me and was like, "Oh, you have such a pretty face." And it's like, you're a skinny bitch, and I know you're looking at me like I'm a fat idiot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, like you're ruining your pretty face. I'll never forget that.
Want me to beat her up?
No, I just told the internet I hate her, so that's fine.
But it was the fact that.
But no one like when Trisha like talked about it, like she said something about like people making fun of her rolls and stuff, like her like belly rolls.
Well, I was gonna say that there's a lot of, it's interesting because I think that people made and back when she was in school, people must have made fun of her for being overweight, not because she was the most overweight, but I guess maybe she like dressed outside of it, or she was annoying. And so we've talked about it before, when you're annoying, you're not just like you're not just a bitch, you're a fat bitch, or you're a bald bitch like myself. You know, people try to make it more personal, and that's probably what happened to Trisha. And I think that's kind of shitty, because we like, it's just shitty. You shouldn't. That's one of those problems. You shouldn't be. And Mysterious didn't engage in this, just for context. But you shouldn't be generally invalidating of like a group of people because of a specific person within that group. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's like a one gay guy is annoying. You're like, hey, gays are so annoying. You know what I mean? It's like that's a ridiculous perspective to have. And even with Trisha, she's a bad person. But you know, it's not the right thing to do.